There we go. Well, boys and girls, I've had one heck of a morning, and look at the beautiful smile we get to see right now. This is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, Nakoma Tala. Thank you so much for spending the time with us today.
No problem, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, because my morning started off with Dan the Man. I know you're familiar with him. So that was a
Yep.
very rough ride, if you will, especially in the morning. But then I just got done like 15, 20 minutes ago with a fan roundtable that I do. And there was like 8 of us in there. And the warden and Mr. Morozov interjected their way in. Somehow they hacked my Skype. I wasn't very happy with it, but they made their way in and we had fun nonetheless. I love having fun talking wrestling. And that's what we do. We talk about character. We talk about where you come from. We talk about, is Nakoma really your real name? You don't have to tell us if you don't want to. We don't have to get that personal. I stalk you I follow you from a distance on the face page, so, we don't have to get too personal. But we like to pull it back and talk to the fans, because the fans that don't know you, we get to find out where to find you, check you out, look at the footage, look at the pictures, because you take beautiful of both. That smile doesn't always last long when you get in the ring, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So we just try to, and the people that do know you, we try to get to know you a little bit more. And I don't know you very well, so this is a very special one for me, because I've wanted to get Nakoma just on a one-on-one, but you're kind of a far distance from me. So now that we're doing the Skype thing, my reach is a little bit further. I reached out. I said, hey, I do this thing. What do you think? She goes, I see you stalk my face page, but, we'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. So we just have some fun. So with that being said, first thing, you, the family, I know you have a little, I forget what you call it, but I know you have a little Nakoma Tala. Yeah, you, the fam, you're all well through this whole mess we got going on, yeah?
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Staying healthy, keeping our distance from other people and, taking this very seriously, because I know some people are saying, oh, this is nothing, but even if you think it's nothing, it's still a virus regardless, and you should be taking care of yourself and being careful of others, regardless of the situation of how you think about it. But, with me, I have a daughter, like you said, she's actually turning 6, May 9th. Her birthday's coming up. And I also am around my elders a lot, so I'll say I have to be extra, extra careful. So everyone out there should be taking it seriously.
I feel the same boat. I have my little 7-year-old nephew here. I have my mom and her husband and Jacob's mom there. We all kind of share a place together, and you gotta be safe. You gotta be careful. And like I like to the message that I like to say on that one, on this show specifically, is make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you wash your ass. Okay, you have to wash your ass too, but it doesn't have to be in that order. Preferably wash the ass first, then wash the hands, and then purify. Probably, but we like to have fun here. Now,
yes, definitely. Wash your hands.
I would love to start. We'd like to talk character and how said person, man or woman, because there's so many talented men and women that I have been had the honor, privilege to get to know, get to network, film, take some pictures, stalk from a distance, if you will. And I will tell you, you have taken me on a ride personally, and I'm just being selfish here, because I've seen a transition from a character to a character. And when it kind of flashed on me, it flashed right before my eyes, and it kind of mind effed me, if you will. So where I'd like to start is where I first saw you was at the Chop Shop. I've met so many amazing men and women there. Wow, what a ride you guys take us on at the Chop Shop. The characters are abundant. The wrestling is abundant. We have great times up there. I'm going to start there because that's where I first met you. So correct me if I'm wrong. Is that
Yep.
your home base, or was it at the time?
Actually, I originally started at Showcase Pro Wrestling. That's where I actually originally started. That I don't train there anymore. I wanted to branch out, but that is always still going to be a part of me no matter what, because that is always going to be part of my family. Even though I have branched off and grown and spread out my wings a little bit, I actually do train at the Chop Shop now, which is also my family. I have a big family, as you can see. But I'm very happy training and everything and working at the Chop Shop.
Now, Showcase, since you brought it up, and that's kind of what you would say is your first home. Uh, how long have you? And I know some will be general wrestling questions, but because we have to know you, but I try to take a little spin on it, and just follow me because I jump around. I'm not that bright, so it'll be a
That's okay.
bumpy ride again. Yeah. So Showcase being your home, I've never been, but I've seen from a distance through footage and such, because I try to keep an eye on the pulse. If you a pulse, and I know a pulse on the scene. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but it's something like that. But I've seen the men and women that go through Showcase, and you guys look like you're having a hell of a time. Showcase, who is it run by? What before all of this stuff was going on? What were the run
Yep.
times of the shows, if you will?
Well, I don't know if it's changed because I haven't been there in a while. Back then, they would usually have the show times around 6:45, 7:30, depending on where the shows were there. But back then it was Sarge, Blackheart. I guess Cargo Vinton was there for a little while too. Vega's there to help too. But I've heard that Vega kind of is helping run things over there now.
Mhm.
But that's the last I've heard. I keep in touch with Sarge here and there and Blackheart here and there, of course, because like I said, they're still family regardless.
Mhm.
But as far as I know, the things are still going well over there. But I'm not sure exactly where, and everything the shows have been.
Mhm.
But a lot of the guys very well, last I heard.
Well, I
So
ask
yes.
runtime. I ask runtime because as a fan, if a show starts just a smidge too late, and like to be honest with you, the 8 o'clock start time is a little bit late, especially when it comes to the family setting. And you see that during intermission, you lose a good ratio of fans because it gets to a point at intermission where it's like, holy cow, it's already X time, and a lot of the families leave. So I like to kind of to gauge the run times, because if you can run and start, maybe doors open 5:30, bell time 6:30, I think that's almost kind of a really nice timeline to run it if you're running it in the evening. Do you find that's kind of a comfortable time frame? Because even for the wrestlers, a little bit late isn't always the best.
Well, I think if the show started at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, I think that would actually be, I don't think that would be a good time because people work around that time, especially single parents like me. I'm a single
Okay.
mother. And our usual, well, my hours that I work, because I work at a daycare, I work with kids all the time. So, closing time at daycares for where I'm from are around 6 o'clock. So, I mean, that kind of, being a parent, work usually ends around 6, 5:30, give or take. So you want to give those families, like you were saying, it might be too late. Sometimes they're at intermission, but you got to think about parents getting out of work and actually making it to the shows. You want to make sure they make it to shows and everything like that. And on top of that, when you're running a show, you want to make sure every match is catching everyone's attention. So when it does make it to that time, they want to sit there and stay a little later because that,
Mhm.
you want to hook the crowd. You always want to make sure that they're happy, they're enjoying themselves. So it's worth being up late. You want to make sure it's worth it, and so it's kind of like a two-sided thing, really, because you got to think of everybody.
I didn't really think about, the getting out of work, because not all shows are on a Saturday or a Sunday. They do fall on the Thursdays, the Fridays and stuff. So I guess I could take
Yeah.
that in perspective. I never really thought about that because I would go to the XWA Center from my
Mhm.
area, and it's like 2 hours from me. And I would go there every single Thursday right after work. I would go get my dad,
Okay.
and we would we would run like the wind. Sometimes I might have hit 100 or so. I don't know. I tried to
Jeez.
watch. Yeah. When dad's when dad's in the car, you got to kind of pull it back, you know.
Oh
But
yeah, drive
uh,
safe.
you got to be on time. Yeah. Oh my goodness. If I think I just got a notification, I should be tomahawk chopped for that. Next time we see each other, I might let you give me a free one just for that. But my point being is distance sometimes doesn't bother me at all. It does wear on a fan a little bit when you're always going that far all the time. So I try to mix it up and do my area from Connecticut. Now, the chop shop is based in Rhode Island, so I'm assuming that's your area, right? Basically would be Rhode Island.
Yes, it's Rhode Island. Yes.
And it would make it a little more convenient for that training going to the shows. And I know you have to do the shows other places and branching out and stuff, but it's got to feel nice when it's a little bit closer and you can get that training in.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot nicer because you're not up till like 4 o'clock in the morning making it home, making those long drives. I mean, the drives are definitely worth it. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great experience that you get to make those drives. You get to see everything. Like for instance, like I wrestle in Maine a little bit more now, and from where I'm from, it's about a 7-hour ride, but it's worth the ride because it's so beautiful. The fans are great up there, and it's just a great experience overall, honestly.
So for the fans that don't know what's going on up in Maine, I mean, we've heard of Limitless. I'm assuming most who are wrestling fans have heard of Limitless because of the stature that it's kind of taken on over the course of the last couple years. Uh, where are you wrestling in Maine?
I wrestle for Global Main Event Wrestling. There's a couple of companies I've been talking to up there that I might, branch off into. Well, when this virus thing happened, I was supposed to wrestle for a few companies, but sadly got canceled, obviously for safety reasons. But I do plan on branching out a little bit more in Maine, a little bit in other states. And if anyone has any companies that they want me to venture off to into any other states, towards the mid or west or wherever, find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. You can message me and I'll check them out, and maybe I'll see you guys in whatever state you guys are from.
Nice. Now, since you've mentioned the media, how do we find you? Because the name is a little funky to spell. So just so we could definitely find you, how do we spell when we're looking up on the Twitter and the face page and such?
Well, I don't know if this is backwards on your screen, but I wrote everything down just in case.
Oh, look at that. Great Warrior, Instagram, Nakoma Tala, oh, Twitter, TikTok. Oh my God, you do TikTok?
I just started. I'm still figuring it out and everything. So, but I do post some of my matches even on TikTok, and I'm still figuring out all those dances and everything. So we'll see what else I end up posting. But I'm not much of a dancer outside of a powwow, of course. But we'll figure that out.
I am as white as it comes when it comes to dancing, and Trayvon from Waves and Curls can attest to that when we did ours, because I tried doing the thing and yeah, no, he called me 2%, like watered down white kind of. Oh yeah, that was fantastic. But my nephew, he likes that little TikTok stuff, and he does all of these crazy things, and I look at him and I go, man, you need medications. Holy cow.
Some of the kids at the daycare, they know all the dances that I'm watching. I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, it's TikTok. I'm like, this is not, I don't know what you're doing at all. I'm watching. I'm like, nope.
Oh man, children, you work with children in a daycare on, the shoot job, if you will. Now, when you get into wrestling, you're a different, could I say you're a different person, or are you amplified up a little bit more and it's still just like, whoever you are during your day job, you feel some of that in your character and just amplified, or is it a total different character from who you are?
See, Nakoma Tala will always be me. I'll be me 100% no matter where I am or what I'm doing. Nakoma Tala is me because I do take family and, my land, my heritage very seriously. So even at the daycare, always trying to help out no matter what. In the ring, I'm always trying to stand up to, I guess you could say the bullies or, the bad guys and try to make things right. I fight for my people, my land, just like I say in the ring, I still do the same thing outside the ring. I always protect what is my loved ones and everything else. So, that doesn't really change. The reasons why I wrestle is because I want people to believe that everyone has a warrior within themselves, no matter if you're Native or not. Everyone has it within themselves, no matter using it to stand up to those who cannot stand up for themselves. And I take that outside the ring too, and I try to help these kids believe in themselves to take those chances, step out of their comfort zone, and do those things that they've always wanted to do. Don't be scared. Step up. I want them to be, because they're our future. We need to help them and guide them to be, I don't want to say stronger, because these kids are strong as is, but not a lot of kids have that support all the time, and you never know. And I've seen that. I've actually realized some of these kids need, that little push, someone to, I guess look up to. I don't want to, toot my own horn and make it seem like
No,
that, but
no.
like I really believe in these kids. Even adults, even adults need someone to believe in. Sometimes we need someone to push us to become better people or become our better selves that we never even knew we were. Like sometimes it's a part of us we never knew we had, and sometimes it takes a little push to figure that out. Wrestling kind of helped me in a lot of ways to find myself. Of course, I'm Native. I already knew that, but I mean, I built my I built my confidence in the ring. I believed in myself more, and I wanted to share that with the people. I want the people to realize I'm here, for them. I'm not here for myself. I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for them anyways. They mean a lot to me, and I want them to realize I'm an open ear. You can message me if you need someone to talk to. I'm here. I always want them to know that, because I want to help. I want to make a change in this world, because there's a lot of negativity in this world, and there needs to be a change. And one reaction one kind action makes a reaction. And that's what I believe. And I want that to happen. And I want to try and push that as much as possible.
I have to say that is an amazing message, because being a female in the industry is not easy. You have this
No,
confidence about you, and it wasn't to toot your own horn at all, because I'm leading into when you come out as Nakoma with your gear on at wrestling, the face paint, the war paint, if you will. You see the children, the little girls, they have the Nakoma signs. That has got to just flip you out when you see stuff like that.
no, honestly, it warms my heart. It makes me feel good because, it just it just reminds us of like, we are doing something right. I'm doing something right. I'm reaching out to these kids and families and everything. It makes me want to keep going. I want to keep pushing myself. And it just makes me feel great, especially when they do my little scream and everything. And there's a family that actually had the same face paint on one of my shows, which surprised me, but it made me happy because it shows that they have my back. And a lot of wrestlers, not I don't say a lot of wrestlers, but some wrestlers, I'm not saying names because I don't know names, but I've seen it firsthand every blue moon where they kind of treat their fans like money bags. I don't like that. I'm not like that. So I want to be like one with the people, kind of, if that makes any sense. But it
Absolutely.
just makes me feel good to know that they have my back, and I want them to know that I have their back as well, as best as I can. Anyways, obviously I'm way over here in Rhode Island. I try to do what I can when I can. Just for instance, yesterday, I did a shout out to Dylan up in Maine. It was his birthday. He turned 9. Like little stuff like that. Like I just want to make sure that I'm not just forgetting them. It's like, oh, hi, bye type of thing. No, I remember these people. I will
Right.
always remember these people.
Well, you were talking about um trying to give the children a little guidance, a little nurturing. And sometimes adults need that too, somebody to look up to, if you will. That's what part of wrestling is. Music and wrestling, I always correlate together. And again, this instance happens right here again, because you and I, doesn't matter how old we are, even though we're older and not children, you recognize music that you like, you relate to it, you feel
Yep.
it, and you kind of think of how does it help me, or how, you know what I'm saying? So you
Yep.
guys and girls, you do the same thing in wrestling. Notice though, you didn't say the children, you said the family had that face paint on, right?
Correct. Yep. Even the mother had the face paint on and everything.
That's
And they're always
awesome.
going to every one of my shows, and I greatly appreciate it. I really do. And they even got what was it? A sugar glider it's called. And they named it Nakoma, and they sent me a picture of it, which is actually kind of cool. And it's so cute. I don't know if you guys know what a sugar glider is, but if you look it up on Google, it's kind of like a little squirrel type. It's so cute.
Mhm. It's got the little membrane wings, if you will, so it glides from tree to tree.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
it,
cute.
look at you smile just by talking about the fans and that connection that you've made. It really seems that that is totally your gig. You are so, that's your wheelhouse right there.
Yes, definitely.
Now, I want to flip the script, because when I first met you, you weren't this character. You were something different. And I'd like to talk about that, because we talk evolution of character. Now,
Yes.
for the boys and girls that don't want to hear this, go away, because it gets a little darker as the evolution to Nakoma. Uh, I met Nakoma when she was Roxy with two
Oh
X's, if
my
I'm
God.
not mistaken.
Two X's. Yep.
Yeah, evil, nasty. Get the F out of my way. I'm gonna F and kill you. There was a lot of, not in those words. She would never say that. I'm just trying to paint the
No.
picture. Yeah, she took no crap at all, and that was a different time to the evolution of where you're at now. And I love to talk evolution of character.
Yep.
Uh, Roxy, was that just pre Nakoma, or was there something before Roxy that you built up to Roxy and then Nakoma? How did your character work? And please talk about Roxy, why you wanted to be a bad girl.
All right. Well, when I first originally started, I was actually a police officer at first, and then things started going towards the dark side, and then I turned into Roxy. Yeah, police officer. It's a little different, but it was still the same attitude. Didn't take any, BS from anybody. I was still that tough girl, which that really hasn't changed to any of my characters because I'm gonna stand up for my own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be pushed around. I'm gonna do what I have to do. Um, but when I turned into Roxy, that was kind of like a time in my life where things were a little tough. So I mean, there was that dark side of me that needed to come out. So that was kind of a piece of me that kind of got released, and it kind of cured me in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone needs a moment to just like I guess scream here and there and just let all that anger out. So that part of me was caged for so long because of I mean, no one's life is easy. I mean, everyone goes through their problems, growing up and everything. So I guess it was a healing point I needed to go through, and it just came out of me. And I after I released it, you know, I started realizing, that question, who am I? That's a
Mm-hmm.
question that all wrestlers need to go through is who am I? And what is my future going to be like, especially if I do this or if I do that, and what if I change myself to be better in this category, or you know just simple things like that. Every wrestler has to go through that. And I went on a little vision quest, and I kind of sat and was by myself in the woods, was kind of just keeping, trying to cleanse my mind and my body and spirit and everything, and realize, what am I doing? I was like, I'm native. Why am I not showing this, like Native pride. Like, what am I doing? I was like, I need to step out of my comfort zone because, even I was bullied as a kid. I used to wear the little feathers and stuff. And back then, people are like, oh, why are you wearing that? That's stupid. But go to figure out nowadays, everyone's wearing feathers and for earrings and this and that. And I'm like, really? Really? Now you guys are wearing it now. But back then, you were making fun of me. That's good. But yeah, no, I was like, you know what? I need to be proud of who I am. I need to step out of my comfort zone and just kind of be me. I need to rebuild myself, be a stronger woman. I'm a mother. I need to, I was a young mom. So, I kind of had to grow up at an early age. So, wrestling kind of saved me and helped me in a lot of ways. You know, like I said before, confidence. Everyone has a little bit of anxiety, so I wouldn't have been able to speak in front of a huge crowd, let alone stand in the middle of a ring and look at, everyone. I would have been just quiet, not saying nothing. I would have been sweating probably. But wrestling has made me push myself. And I still push myself to this day to become better because there's always room to be better and to grow and everything. You're never done learning. Never. So I started thinking, all right, well, let me get some gear. I got some gear. The first gear I had, oh my goodness, I had black spandex shorts under like a skin skirt type deal. And I still have the same top from when I first started, although of course I clean it and I re-amp it up every once in a while, fix the back, of course. But I've had the same top for many years. But then I ended up changing the bombs. I might actually look into getting new gear. So maybe in the new year sometime you'll be seeing some new stuff. So we'll see. But, and then once I got the gear and I started piecing everything together, I started thinking, what am I going to do with this? It's not really a gimmick because it's me. And every gimmick is you times 1,000. And that's what everyone says, which is true. So I figured, what is my angle with this gimmick? So I was like, you know what? The world needs a positive, it needs something positive. Like, it needs a change. How am I going to do this? So when I first started wrestling, I kind of tried to see how the crowd would react to it, see, what they say about it. And what was cool was when I first came out, people come up to me like, oh, I'm part this, or I'm part Iroquois, this and that. So I'm like, okay, so there are natives out here that maybe not full-blooded, but doesn't matter regardless because we're all blood, we're all chained together somehow. And so, especially like I'm bringing up Maine again, because my people, the Abenaki, we're kind of spread out all over the East Coast and a little bit southern Canada. But what surprised me is up in Maine, there's a lot of natives up there, and there was an elder that actually gave me a hat that said Native Pride. And I carry it with me all the time in the car. I bring it wherever I go because that kind of made me feel good. And I promised him too, as an elder, you don't break promises to an elder. But I carry it with me all the time. And it's awesome because not everyone is open about it. They don't wear the regalia, which is, our native attire. They're kind of in the shadows about it. Some of them just are proud about it. They just wear it, which is great. And I want people to be proud of who they are and come out and not be scared of what other people think. Because that's how I was at first. I was kind of nervous of, what people would say, this and that. But now, just be proud of who you are, no matter what culture and nationality you are. I'm not just saying for natives. I'm just saying for everybody. I want them to come out, be proud of who you are. So, that's what I want to try and bring out at the shows. And I tell everybody at the shows, sometimes they ask, can I wear face paint? I'm like, go ahead. It's not going to insult me any. It just shows you're proud of who you are, or you're showing support or whatever. Just, be you. That's as much as, I want. I want everyone to push themselves, be proud of themselves, and, pretty much that.
Well, what you're doing with the whole Native American thing, it seemed to catch right off because again, I try to keep an eye on the pulse, and during that transition when it just came out of nowhere. I'm like, wait a minute, that who is that? I know her. Uh, because you had, the hand over across the face on the face paint, and you were in a different gimmick, and I'm like, man, I know. Oh shit, that's Roxy. And so it was like, wow. But as I started following, and you were getting that rolling, the people were right on it. They love every bit of it. And like you said, it's very relatable when fans
Yep.
come up and they're saying, I'm part this, I'm part that. They're already catching on. You probably didn't even have to do a whole lot of anything to get that reaction, to be honest with you, just wearing the attire, looking the way you do, portraying I'm a Native American, just related to an X number of fans in the ring. They are around the ring. They come up to you after your match or post event. It's very relatable. So I think you kind of hit it on the button right here, and it's been working for you.
I mean, when I first started, people didn't know how to react to me, so I did kind of have to like do a little hard work and trying to make people realize I'm not bad. Because I guess my presence is like a strong presence, I guess, or intimidating at first. But then once they get to talk to me and I can talk to them and stuff like that, they realize I'm not a scary person. I guess my face paint can come off a little scary. Um, but I swear I am a goofball at heart. I am, I'm not a bad person. I'm not scary, I swear. Maybe in the ring, it's inside the ring, and as long as you're not the one I'm working and wrestling and stuff, we're fine. But, outside, I swear.
So I'd like to talk moveset, because that really catches my curiosity of what each wrestler is comfortable with, because what we see in the ring being produced after, performance after performance in the ring isn't always what you know. You could have this big repertoire of wrestling, but your move set is kind of set to X and X. May it be mat wrestling, may it be hybrid, may it be, whatever it is. What is your move set? What do you feel most comfortable in the ring doing?
Um, I'm more of like a power moves type of person. So I kind of I don't want to say I use my body weight. I do sometimes, obviously when I have to. But there are girls out there like Asana and a few other girls that are kind of like built like me, where
Mhm.
it is a battle. But I'm more of like a power moves type of girl. I don't do any high flying stuff. At least, you never know. I'm still learning. I'm still pushing myself to do new stuff. So never know. You might see me, my big self flying through. You never know.
Uh, being a female in the industry, a little rougher. Were you accepted when you first started coming up, or was it kind of like a little struggle to kind of get that click going?
When I first started, I mean, you always got to put in work to be respected. You got to give respect to get respect, you know. When I first started at Showcase, there was one other female at one point, but then she kind of went and disappeared, I guess. But then it was just me. So I was the only female in the school. So of course I had to work 100 times harder.
Mm.
So these guys, I'm not gonna take anything. I'm not gonna take any BS. I want to be in this ring just as much as they do. I'll bleed as much as I have to be, in this ring. I'll sweat just as much, maybe even 10 times more. And that's how it always should be. Even
Mhm.
outside the ring, you should always work 10 times more. Just in anything you do. But and then at the chop shop, I didn't really know anybody, maybe except for like a few. So they kind of already knew me from Showcase.
Okay.
So I kind of was somewhat accepted, but after a while of getting to know everyone, I kind of clicked into the family and stuff like that. I mean, every wrestler, we we always keep an eye out for each other. So we're always, we're family, at all the schools and everything. But it took me a little bit to be accepted, especially being a female. My build and everything. I'm not one of those skinny minis that are like, hey, no, I just walked in. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm here to wrestle. Let's do this. So that's
Hmm.
my action. I come into training. Say, all right, we're here for business. Let's get this done. Let's learn. Let's sweat. Let's bleed. Let's let's just get a workout in. So
You mentioned Asana, the suplex sweetheart. You have had more than one match, I want to say, with Asana. Is that correct?
yes, yep.
How is it to work with a peer that's a friend? Because I find it very it's gotta almost be weird because I know your brothers and sisters behind the scenes and stuff, but some get very much closer than others. But now you've got to get in the ring in there and take a forearm and put it right in her mush, or you've got to do different stuff. How is it fighting your friends?
Well, no matter who it is in the ring, you always give your all, regardless who it is. Even if you are friends, don't go soft because it's whoever wins at the end. So, I mean, you want to win, you can't be soft. You can't give them a chance. You got to keep pushing. Just as much as she wouldn't she wouldn't go easy on me either. So it's a battle. We'll have respect for each other no matter what, but still, you can't go easy.
Intergender wrestling has taken on a life of its own over the course of, I don't know, 3 to 5 years this year, we could say, maybe even a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind doing the intergender thing, or do you feel more
Oh,
comfortable
I
against women?
Oh, I love wrestling, both men and women. Whoever's in that ring, I'll work them because, like I
Okay.
said, I don't give up. I'm not a quitter. I'll keep trying. I'll keep working hard. And like I said, I'll sweat and bleed 10 times more if I have to make it. And, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll wrestle. I've wrestled Steve Lost, Diabolical Ladur back then. uh, um, I've
Oh, God.
wrestled Hotshot Deshawn. I've wrestled quite a few guys throughout the years. And I've had good experiences regardless. We have respect for each other, but we still, like I said, with females, it's the same as men. You don't go soft on each other. You're going to do what it takes to win because we're all trying to make it to one spot, right? So, you
Yeah.
don't go easy.
The Chop Shop, tons of fun, lots of characters, very unique environment. Um,
Mhm.
excuse me, from one to another. Like I like to go to Test of Strength around in my area. I go to Test of Strength a lot, every single show. PAPW. I try, get to those shows, all of their shows. And then there's some in Massachusetts that are about an hour away that I like to travel to. Going from one to another is really cool because it's a different vibe. Some of the fans are different. The chants, the way
Mhm.
they do the chants and such and such. Do you find that as well, being a performer? Do you find like the crowds and stuff like that is different from one event to another, if you will?
Yeah, especially the style of wrestling too. It goes along with the crowds too.
Okay.
Like New York, I just started wrestling. I've had a few shows in there, a little while back, and it's a completely different environment. Um, you know, from what I'm used to here, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, which is mostly where I wrestled when I first began. So I
Hmm.
was kind of used to, the crowds are great in Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Don't get me wrong. And then there's New York, which they're a little wilder. They're like it's just a whole different vibe. Like not in a bad way, wild, but
No, but they're wild.
but but no, it's like a different vibe. It's crazy. And then you go to Maine, where the environment's laid back and everything, but the crowd is just as crazy as Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and it's like it varies no matter where you go. I mean, it's different styles, different kinds of people. Like there's been times where I had a crowd with those no natives, like there was nothing, and they looked at me like, "Who's this chick? Why is she here?" And then after a while, they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, she's cool. That's fine." And they'll start cheering out for me like after a while, but it's like awkward at first. So it's like you don't know how to take it. You're like, "Should I do this?" No, okay, it's not. Like I've had moments like that. But yeah, no, it's the crowds are live regardless, and I have much love for all the crowd, all the fans, everybody that's in the crowd, no matter where I go. So keep it up, and keep being extra loud, because the more energy you give us, the more energy we'll give back. So
I have definitely learned that more and more doing these interviews. But I've also learned that not everybody reads the crowd, not everybody hears the fans when we're saying our thing, doing our thing, that little dance that we do there. Um,
mhm.
is it something that took some time for Nakoma to adjust to, hear us, react to it, maybe work off of that?
Yeah, no, yeah, no, it took sometimes it takes some people years, sometimes it's quicker. Everyone's different. But with me it took a little bit of time, because when you first start wrestling, you just focused, you're zoned into that one person you're working, and everything gets blocked out. You're so zoned in. Then after a while you start getting comfortable with it, what you're doing, because you know what you're doing. You're training, you know what to expect, not expect, but like what it's like in the ring, basically. You know what it's like to be a little more comfortable in the ring, your surroundings. So once you get comfortable with that, your ears start to open up. You can start hearing, oh, give her another chop, one more time, little things like that. So, when I started hearing that, I started realizing, all right, so I can do this. All right, so let's try this now. Go and do that. Yeah, I'm like, okay. And and like it's great to hear them, because it makes you fired up. It makes you feel good. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah, all right, let's do this. All right, let's keep going. And slam or whatever. Like, you just get them going. It's a great feeling.
Now, the transition from being a little bit darker to Nakoma, being, positive, the whole message that you try to send.
Hmm.
Could I say that going from the one to another, a part of it was because you couldn't connect to the fans as maybe the Roxy character because you were darker, you were meaner, and you just didn't like. I would boo you, and you would come right back on me and just pee all over me and shit all over me, just like I was doing you. We had that little thing going on, but that's what villains do, the heels. Is that transition from character because like you're sitting there going, who am I? What the hell am I doing? Oh, wait a minute. I'm Native American. Again, what am I doing? What the hell?
Yeah.
But part of that transition is obviously finding yourself and what you want to portray in the ring. Again, is it part of like you couldn't communicate with us? All we did was boo each other and hiss each other. So transitioning to coma must have been really cool during that because now you get to involve us more than ever into what you're doing.
Yeah, see, with wrestling, like I said before, it kind of healed me. It kind of saves me and helps me in a lot of ways that many people don't realize. So back then I was kind of lost, confused. I didn't know who I was anymore after, a lot of things I've been through in the past, and kind of trying to figure who I am, and what am I doing here? Um, is kind of why I went those transitions, and letting it all out kind of also healed me in a way and cleared me up. So I was like, after that whole Roxy thing, I got rid of all that poison that was inside me, that was eating away at me, and all that anger and that sadness, and that all I got rid of all that. And I just needed, it was kind of like a therapy. Wrestling's always kind of a therapy to everyone, in some
Absolutely.
sort of way. So becoming Nakoma was kind of like, I'm healed, I'm here, I need to grow up, I need to push myself, I need to get out of this dark hole and just keep pushing forward, keep going, because there's so much in life right now, and I just need to reach it. I need to get to it. I need to um, keep paving my path. Like, I want to guide Little Wolf and show her this is what we can do in life. This is how we can make changes for a better world, especially for her and many other children. I want to show her, there's different ways of doing things, not just, what you see on TV all the time and what you hear in music. And it's like, there's a better world, there's a better life by doing certain things. And like I said, positive action can cause a reaction. So what she does is she helps me make my little hair feathers, and I kind of teach her, because some shows I do are for like raising money for like war vets or cancer, children, or even breast cancer and stuff like that. So I show her, I was like, by doing this, we can raise money to help these people who are trying to ask for help and they can't always get it. So this is how we can help to not better their lives, but to save them, to at least help a little bit, make them happy, whatever. So by doing this, I'm teaching her, it's not all about the money, because I don't keep that money. I make merch, like for instance, for cancer or the war vets at New World Wrestling Extreme. They raised money for veterans, homeless veterans at one point. I made all my dream catches all military themed and all that. And when they all sold, I gave him the money, and he looked at me like, "Why are you giving me money?" I was like, "Well, I'm trying to help." I was like, "That's the whole point of the show, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Thank you." Like, he didn't expect me to. I mean, I want to help. Like, these people don't realize this is why I'm here. I want to do these things. So like, I want people to see even the little things help, no matter what. Like, it's important.
Does Nakoma stay as a character? Do you have an evolution of Nakoma, or do you see Nakoma just, tweaking a little here and there? May it be gear or whatever, face paint or what have you. Do you see the Nakoma character really just kind of staying and being part of you for your career, or do you have kind of evolution for it set up?
Um, I mean, right now, I mean, of course, face paint can always change. It's because the colors always mean something.
Hmm.
Um, because for instance, where was it? It was in Fairhaven for House of Bricks. My best friend passed away, and I found out driving from Maine all the way to Massachusetts, which is like a 4.5 drive, 5 hour drive from Maine. And I got the call saying she passed away. So what I did is I changed my face paint up, and I don't know if you've seen it, but I did like a full face paint where it came down on my neck too, and I had a little thing on my arm that had her name on it and stuff. And that was kind of like, I was in pain, but I
Hmm.
had to be strong for her. So that night was kind of like, you know, I kind of did it for her, and that was kind of tough. So it's kind of an emotion thing too, because sometimes you'll see me do the simple little lines here and here, or you'll see me do the handprint and everything. But it all depends on the vibe, what I'm feeling at the moment. But there's always room to grow, change things up. Like I said, gear can always change. Natives have many styles. We love
Hmm.
color, so that's why I plan on doing, probably changing up with a little bit more color to it. I mean, I love my turquoise. My favorite color is blue, so I mean, so I'm going blue or something. But we'll see in the future what happens. But right now, um, I'm in my happy place. But there's always room to grow, change things up a
Nice.
little bit.
Hmm. Are you looking to, are you comfortable in the indie scene doing what you're doing, branching out from company to company? Or are you really looking to take your wrestling to a different level and maybe get on the camera level where it's WWE, where it's Impact and ROH and such? Where is Nakoma's career headed?
Well, I mean, that's because I love the independent scene, but I also do want to make it to those the, I guess you could say, big leagues, the Ring of Honor, all that kind of stuff, of course. I mean, I just want to, like my main goal is to make it, sure, but it's also to make a change in the world. I keep saying it
Mhm.
over and over again, make a change in the
That's
world,
okay.
but I'm gonna do what it takes, because that's what I want. My goal is to, because that's my way. That's the way I know that I can make a change, is through wrestling.
Hmm.
Some people have the money to just start, an organization to just start raising money for stuff. Obviously, I'm a mom. I don't quite have that kind of money, as much as I'd love to have that money, but my way of making a change is through wrestling. I know how to do that. That's my way of doing things. So if I could make it to the big leagues, that would make it even better for me, to
Hmm.
try and make a change, because that's on camera. Although independent shows have they record stuff for stuff on YouTube, but to be on TV would be
Yeah.
even better because that's even branching out to an even bigger, I guess fan base and spreading it out a little bit more, a little faster. I guess you could say, but yeah, I mean, right now, I'm trying to do what I can. Being a single mom, obviously, got to take care of my daughter. So she comes first. So I try and wrestle as much as I can, but also spend time with her because she's my world. She's everything to me. And yeah, she'll come every blue moon to a show, like if it's locally, but I don't like driving hours and hours and hours with her in the car. I wouldn't do that to her.
Yeah. Uh, now that you mention it, how does Little Wolf take the competition when you're in the ring?
uh, she loves shows. She's been around wrestling since she was an infant, basically. She loves going to shows. She loves meeting everybody. She likes cheering me on. Every once in a while, she'll cheer for the other person just because she's friends with them. But I let it slide. But yeah, she loves cheering. Like that one time when I used to work Amanda Fox, I'm sure you remember her. She's a good worker. She loved Amanda Fox, and she used to cheer for her when we were in the ring together back then. And I'm like, what? And Amanda went in the crowd. She's like, wait a minute. There's a moment I'll never forget because it was funny because everyone's like, ooh. But she's like, hold on, I gotta say hi to my number one fan. She goes in the crowd and stands next to my daughter, and she goes, by the way, this is her daughter. And I'm like, you did not just do that. Okay, get back in the ring. We're done here. Get back in the ring, Amanda. So yeah, that was an interesting match after that. But yeah, no, she enjoys it. She even wrestles with me at home. She'll just come out of nowhere and just throw a kick, and I'm like, what are you doing? Let's wrestle. So let's wrestle. Come on, Mom. Let's strength. So I mean, I don't know if she'll become a wrestler when she gets older. I mean, that's her choice. I'm not gonna force her, but I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
I could just imagine it now. You and Little Wolf chain wrestling in the living room. That just seems so funny. That seems hilarious right now.
Yeah. No,
Oh man.
she's the ball energy. She loves running in the ring. She knows how to run the ropes already, which is kind of
really?
cool.
That's
Yeah, she
awesome.
loves running the ropes and running around and bouncing around in there. She's not afraid of heights. She's a daredevil. That one. I have to keep an extra eye on her sometimes.
That is awesome, man. Oh, Nakoma, you have been an absolute delight sitting here smiling from minute none to minute one to minute none to however the hell they say that. You've been so beautiful. Your face is aglow. Your information, your sharing, your stories. We talked Little Wolf. We talked Roxy. I'm sorry, but I had to bring it up.
That's all good.
But
It's okay.
you were an absolute delight today, and I cannot thank you enough for your time for hanging out because we've never really talked outside the ring. Again, I've stalked you from I followed you from a distance, but I appreciate you wanting to come on and sharing your story a little bit with the fans. That's very cool of you.
Anytime. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I had a blast. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I have, you know what's cool? I have a fan. This is my first one ever. I have a fan and his little boy, like 3 years old, 4 years old. We call them Sign Guy and Sign Kid because they bring some of the coolest signs, like the firm sucks, one of my favorites. Love that sign. They bring El Jabroni and Danny Adam. I love that sign. That's another good one. Ichiban #1. Love that sign. They bring such cool signs, but I thought it'd be really cool to have those guys to see if they wanted to come on Stirring the Pot because down in PAPW, Test of Strength, we absolutely love those two. Holy cow. So they're coming on next. I can't believe they're actually, I'm going to get an interview with Sign Guy and Sign Kid. Holy crap.
I hope to meet them one day. I want to see some of their signs. Hopefully they're good. I hope they're not anything bad for me. Anyways, hopefully they make a sign for me one day, but
you know what? They made Pokemon cards, mock Pokemon cards of some of the wrestlers. They even did one of myself with Sign Kid in the picture. It's the most adorable shit you've ever seen in your life. Oh my God. I have to repost some of that
That's
stuff.
pretty
You'll
cool.
get a kick out of it.
That is pretty cool.
And I think I don't want to say it too loud, but I think I'm going to invite my 7-year-old nephew to do the next interview with me so he can have fun with Sign Guy and Sign Kid too, because I think he would love it.
Oh, he would definitely love it. I'm sure
Yeah.
he would. Yeah.
This was Stirring the Pot. God darn, did we have some fun. This was Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, Nakoma Tala. Thank you so much for spending the time with the fans today. You were a delight.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.